Welcome to another installment in the Wales and Southwest Players Spotlight, a series inspired by the Swedish Yoshi Rev, giving you some insight into your favourite players, friends, or people you just heard of. Today we have with us another amazing Southwest Falco, an old school dark horse, and one of the tallest motherfuckers around, Lima Bean. Now Lima, just as how
Hello.
Buckley was Guile forever, as soon as AJD started calling him
Right,
it.
so yeah, long story short, I always used to go Lima. Turns out that's the American way of saying it, and then everyone started calling me Lima anyway. So yeah, I guess I'm just Lima now.
Just as how Buckley was Guile forever, as soon as AJD started calling him it.
Yeah,
If this does sound a little bit awkward, it is our second take of the start of it because I forgot to hit fucking record. So anyway, when you started around about 2015-ish, what was your first
yeah.
event?
Uh, yeah. So it was in Bristol, called Raise Your Game 2, I think. Um, and yeah, it was like a regional, fairly decent size, I think. Had like Smash 4 and PM there as well. So that was, I want to say, late April 2015.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot they used to run PML events. It feels kind of really distant now. It's like like you only ever get it at like some like Manchester thing usually, or or that either that or the one time Bristol ran it for the end of the year. You never really
Yeah,
see
I think
PM
like
around.
yeah, like most events I used to go to in like 2015 to 2017, it was always just melee and PM.
Hmm. Who was the Bristol TO around the time?
Yeah, so it was this guy called Marcel. Um, any like old school Bristol players will know him. I'm not sure what he's up to now.
Do you know who
But
took over after Marcel? Was it Jeans?
yeah, it's pretty much been Gene since like whenever he started doing the 8-bit Planet tournaments.
He ran
Um,
Spiked as well, right?
think so.
I remember like getting some old VOD suggested to me of Spiked, and I'm like, this is just like in like an 8-bit cafe. Or was it Game Store? I think it was.
Yeah, apparently they didn't really like having us because we had a load of CRTs and shit that took too long to set up and took up too much space.
Yeah, and also shoving a bunch of smashed into the corner of a like I assume like it was like a card shop-ish. So it like takes up a bunch of space that they don't really want to
Yeah.
do. Do you remember who your first bracket demon was?
Um. Yeah. So I think Candy. Um. Yeah, they always seem to play a different character every time I played them. I get kind of. Oh, I didn't know how to fight against Bowser or Game and Watch, or any of their other weird mid or low tier characters.
Because these days are
Then.
spared from it. Like people used to just rotate characters on you and just destroy you with every character,
Yep.
and it's just soul crushing. But now you just get destroyed by their main, which is a lot easier to stomach.
Yeah.
What goals have you had with melee over time?
Um, so I guess for the first couple of years, it's just like try and win Army bracket, or make it into pros. And then I guess lately, it's just yeah, take sets of PR players or just good players in general. I wouldn't say like it's a massive goal to like get on PR.
Hmm.
Um, just yeah, beat those good players. Um,
Have you got like a hit list of PR players that you're after?
yeah, there's quite a few players who I've had close sets with, but never actually beaten. Um, one of them being you, uh,
That
and
happened,
yeah,
buddy.
like a few others.
You've gotten very fucking close. I think Battleborn, like I did deserve to win Battleborn. I got really fucking lucky there.
I
I,
mean, that's happened to me against a lot of PR players.
true.
Like choke the last stock,
You're up as well. It's just oh,
and then you went on to win the tournament. So
uh,
hey ho.
it works out, yeah. Who else is on that list besides me?
Squeechy. had a lot of close sets with Squee. Um,
I feel like all of us have had like close sets with Squee. Like Coral went really close with Squee as well.
mm,
I saw like the Falcons have all gone really close with Squee and just they can never fully clutch it out, which is really
yeah,
hard.
our last set at Crescendo 2 was a game 5 last stock. Unfortunate.
Someone's gotta
Um,
stop that fucking pesky game and watch.
and then there's UO as well, of course.
Have you
Who,
not beaten him?
not since Dare to Shine 1.
That was
So that
two
was
years
nearly
ago?
2 years ago, yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, we always used to always used to meet in Miami brackets, in like losers finals or like winners semis or whatever. And usually I would like edge it out, and then yeah, he got like a big power up recently, and now I'm like I'm like lost against Peach. Don't know what to do.
I remember you complaining about having to play you and telling me that you were his Ami's bracket demon
Used
years
to
ago.
be.
We need to get him back there. We can't let you run around free. He's
It's
gotten Mr. 25 and now he's sleeping.
he's evolved his gameplay at least a bit from down smash 10 times in a row.
He's a good player when he doesn't dance smash. I
Yeah,
actually,
he's I think when he uses it sparingly, he's
yeah,
like catches you off guard.
I remember playing him when he was refusing, where he stopped using down smash for a whole week, and it's generally the hardest like he had ever been, because he was just like really like on point and neutral.
Mm.
I was not expecting it. It'll be interesting to see because I mean we don't really have much of another Peach. I mean I guess we have Silas, but Silas doesn't come to too much. I feel these days. I think they're getting back into it a bit, but they've been fairly inactive for a while. So it'll be interesting to see another Peach do really well.
Yeah.
Who's the most influential person do you think on your melee career, or
Um.
just your experience in melee in general?
Yeah. I guess Frenzy's kind of the obvious answer. Um. Yeah. Obviously, when I started, he was like 16-ish, kind of fighting for the number one spot in Bristol. Uh. And obviously now he's top 50 in the world, number one in the UK.
True.
Um.
Who was he fighting back then? Soy?
Yeah. It was Soy. That's who I remember. Obviously, like Aiken always gave him a run for his money. Um. And yeah, there's probably a few others I don't remember, but
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, and obviously he plays same character as me, so it's like
True. Didn't you
always like watching him.
used to have a little I could have heard this wrong, but you used to have a little rivalry, didn't you? With like or like you modest frenzy. You were like a little Falco triangle at one point.
Uh, I don't think I was ever part of that. Um, I think I don't know. I'd say like Matt Smith was more kind of at their kind of level.
It
Um,
might have been Matt. I'm not sure. It could be either.
yeah, no, I was definitely not at frenzy or modest level like ever.
I mean probably back in the early days.
No, you underestimate how bad I was back then.
I, I can never tell with you because like you were like solid when I first like played you, but I didn't like understand why. And then at some point you just like randomly got like if you felt like really much harder, and it's just I can never like fully tell like how good you are, kind of, because it's just I don't exactly understand how you play. But you do good
Yeah.
stuff. It's just
Um,
strange rhythm.
I mean, that's that kind of, I don't know, mix between like, because obviously I started like pre, Slippy or anything like that,
Hmm.
and I never used to like play net play. So I'm somewhat old school, but then most of my improvement happened like once Slippy came out.
Yeah,
So I have a kind of like a mix of like the kind of old school and new school styles, I guess.
that kind of makes a lot of sense because you definitely did improve like a lot. over the last 2 years especially, I feel. To where like Mozzie's always had like kind of a bit of a problem with you, and then um like even though you kind of dunked on Pedlar for the longest of times, even when she got like really really good, it was still like very back and forth and still kind of you favored slightly today, I feel.
Um, I'd say at the moment it's probably Pedlar favored. But I mean it changes, every couple of months I feel. So
Yeah.
we just kind of figure out more stuff about each other and more kind of counterplay.
Do you have like a mental edge on her, you think?
Not at the moment because my mental's kind of gone to shit recently. But like there have been times where like I don't know, I'd go like 2-0 up and she'd just like give up.
Mm.
Or even like quit out like after I get a shine on her in game three. Um, but yeah, I think her mentality's better now, which is good.
Yeah, she's a bit less of a rager now. Like she wasn't too
Yeah,
much of one, but she would definitely like show her like anger and kind of give up a bit
yeah.
more.
And
Um,
what I think as well, like she'd like feel lost against like Falco especially,
mm.
um, and just get like frustrated that like she couldn't figure the match about. But now she's got the touch of death.
That's interesting to hear you say that because I feel like she's done kind of the opposite, at least into me, where she like got the touch of death at some point, and then she just kind of lost it over time because she just got like a bit more scared into me.
Yeah, yeah. I need to
You need to put the fear.
instill that fear back into her. Yeah. I think part of the problem is like I started playing too scared against her.
Yeah, and then you get like need or CC'd out of nowhere,
Yeah,
and you just feel like shit. I should have I could have gone under her instead of just trying to dash back.
yeah. Yeah, it's just like I get grabbed and start getting titches and like I just yeah, my brain just goes and then I
You
like
should do
I
what
can't really bother to
I
like
did. I
tech
don't know
half
if
the
you
time.
teched
I'm
this,
just like,
but
I'll just
I
get it over
basically
with,
teched in place
which is
like
probably
eight
not the
times in a
best
row against her.
mindset going
I
on. But
misinput a tech roll. She went to come attack in place. I death comboed her for it. You just like do the same tech option 10 times in a row, and then she won't cover it on the 11th. Because realistically, unless she like reads with a stomp boss, and then she's usually just re-grabbing most of the
uh,
time. So you're not in too much risk, I feel. But you probably know a lot more about that than I do. You
yeah,
mentioned a little bit about it earlier, but about your mental being down, and you've kind of posted about it on Twitter a little bit. But
yeah.
what do you think has kind of changed for you in your relationship to the game recently? That's made you feel like a bit more down.
Um, yeah, it's probably just burnout. I think. Um,
Hmm.
I've been playing a long time, and I think especially like from the start of this year, like I was going to a lot of stuff, um, and then yeah, like losing just started feeling worse and worse, and yeah, like winning didn't feel that great either, and like it was after like the basement in March, and I just realized like I don't remember the last time I like left an event feeling good. Um, so I took like a little break and just like played like Fox for like a couple of weeks. Um, then yeah, went to Arcadia, didn't do that well there. Um,
Hmm.
and like when I went out at Arcadia, like that was like kind of the angriest I've been, like losing. Um, and I mean at the time you kind of think, man, fuck this, I'm done. I don't want to play anymore. But then like a couple of days later, you kind of look back and think, okay, yeah, I can kind of reconceptualize kind of
I f-
what it is I kind of want to get out of the game, or like what I need to improve on. Um, but then yeah, like the last basement happened, and again, like uh, I got upset in pools, didn't really care. Um, Lost the Pedlar again, didn't really care. Um,
hmm.
and yeah, since then it's just kind of been a bit iffy. But yeah, we'll see going forwards, kind of how things turn out.
Maybe it's time to fuck about with some secondaries, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, like I've been training my Fox, um, and yeah, like Fox is fun.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
it helped me a lot when I burnt out and stopped playing a lot. Just to like to pick up a secondary because I would just like kind of learn it at the locals and it would be fun to like figure out this and like new stuff against people who um beforehand like I wasn't like enjoying too much in like actually playing, but I was having to like actually push my brain a lot to think and actively work because I'm playing a character I don't really know, and I found that to be a lot more fun.
yeah, and it's just like playing a different character, you're learning more stuff. It doesn't feel like you're just kind of going through the motions.
Yeah,
And yeah, so at like the first uh, Bristol local at the new venue, couple of well about a month ago now, I went Fox at that one.
yeah.
Don't know if that's accounted into the ranking process, but
Oh,
that time, well, because yeah, Nintendo 3 owed me there, but that wasn't a Fox Ditto. So,
I'm gonna write that down now. I was actually just thinking of like PR today, bad stuff, because I think as well as doing Southwestern Wales, I think it'd be kind of interesting to do a Wales and Bristol their own stuff, their own like separate like PR as well, because now we both have locals, we can
yeah.
both kind of do it and show off more people from our region. But um, I was thinking when kind of the next one would end for Southwestern Wales. I'm not exactly sure when, but I will need to write that down because there's not going to be any top rate or anything. Like, at least with our locals, we can look in the top 8 and see, oh, someone played this character in the top 8 graphic, so there's probably
Yeah.
some fuckery going on. Whereas there's nothing we can do for Bristol locals. Fox Bristol local. I think it can be kind of hard in, um, but not as much smaller. Basically, just like any region, any like region that's not like America, to be honest, to like have like a constant strive for growth if you don't like kind of travel and aim for everyone outside your region because you play the same
Yeah.
people over and over again, and the better you get, the less people you have to beat. Like you're in the position where it's like kind of um like your next like goals, I guess, a progression would be uh like make sure that you just stay ahead a bit of Mozzie and Ellie. Um, then you have to then you have to go and beat. Well, you do okay into Matt. So getting more consistent to Matt, and then it's like trying to beat me, Ike, and Pie, and then Frenzy,
Yeah.
which although like you've gotten close with them to get like consistently, it's like it's a fair bit of a step forward. And when you just go to event after event, play the exact same people, and either go 50-50 with them every time or lose to the same people, it can be pretty like demoralizing, I feel. And it feels like you're not making much progress.
Yeah.
I think Ellie
But
has that now, especially as well, because she's kind of stuck with you at the moment. Doesn't really get to play Matt much. She doesn't attend. I can attend here and there, but not really stuff that Ellie does. Um, and so her next and like two things to try and just kind of beat me again, and then climb the mountain to beat Pi, because
yeah.
Pi kind of like destroys her at the moment. But it's like it's so much kind of work for her to get there that I think she definitely gets demotivated at times from it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you gotta remember, like, melee's like the melee journey isn't like single player, like, 'cause everyone else is going through it at the same time. So it's like,
Yeah,
you think, oh, I still haven't beaten this person. I'm must not be getting any better, but like they're getting better as well. So
Yeah, it's most people, and in general, it's just kind of hard to look at yourself that objectively. I think Ellie's fairly pretty good at it, but um, I think there's only sometimes so much you can do of that while you're still losing to the same player before you start like imploding a little bit
yeah,
and like losing patience with it. Because especially with people that are like a fair bit better than you, who you like get close with, like you can put in one strategy, it works for like a tiny amount, and then they've got like a new bag of tricks already, like they can counter you with, and it kind of feels like all your effort then is like hasn't done too much, even though it's like at first like a big progression. It's really
yeah,
hard to like get that consistent over people, I feel. But you've done a fairly good job of it, I think. Like you've gotten back sort of consistent against Ellie, but now it's like back and forth again. Um, I correct me if I'm wrong, but you've been mostly winning over Marzi recently.
um, yeah. Um, I mean, well, since kind of like Marzi caught up with me in terms of
Mm,
like skill level,
yeah,
um, I I don't know what the record is exactly, but it's definitely in my favor.
I should.
Um,
I want to look it up now actually, because I actually be interested to see what it is. It won't count some of the. Actually, no, it won't count most of it because a lot of them will be at like the Cardiff locals after COVID, that are all on challenge. But at
yeah,
least PG Stats says you're 16-5 against her.
yeah. Um, I think a lot of it just comes down to like I'm better at clutching up than she is
Hmm.
when like when we're in the kind of last stock situations.
Yeah, I feel like she has a bit more of a solid game plan, but she definitely, for a while, had problems with like choking a little bit. But also, I think you're actually just like you sometimes you choke it, but generally you're actually quite solid. I think last stock because you don't play overly aggressive. You play like decently defensive, and that's usually like the best way to play. When you're in like clutch situations. Like I definitely
Yeah,
felt it when playing you that I kind of feel sometimes like playing Matt Smith where I'm like, please just fucking die on last stock because I can't kill you, and
yeah,
it's just like running around and I'm just like scared of everything. I guess that's just like an old player thing of just all the experience.
yeah. Been there many times. It's like, and I think as well because I've been playing longer, I feel like I didn't really have as much to like prove, I guess. Like a lot of the kind of newer players are kind of like rising quickly.
Hmm.
They want to just constantly keep getting better and better and better, keep improving their results, and every loss is like really bad for them. Whereas like because I've been playing for a long time and didn't really improve for a long time either. It just kind of became standard to like lose to the same people a lot. So
Hmm.
I guess I can kind of keep calm in those situations.
Did you get frenzy coaching?
Not officially. Um, outside of
Yeah.
asking him for advice in person, but I've never actually paid for like a frenzy lesson.
Hmm. Now that there's a cat posting channel, are you gonna post more of your cat in Southwest?
Probably yeah. Um,
Because I didn't even know you had a cat until I got shown the submissions for the UK Malay cats.
I've got two,
I know. I don't. I know
but
Marty has cats as well.
but yeah, I didn't apply him for like the UK melee cat bracket thing or whatever because I don't know. I feel like every cat is cute, so it's like how do you choose between these two? And like everyone just kind of votes for their region. So
True. And Howard's going far, I think.
yeah, and then like
Tofi as well.
yeah, and like if your cat loses to someone else, you're like, oh, what is my cat not cute? Oh no. So yeah, I didn't bother entering mine into that. And especially well, like black cats are hard to photo sometimes.
True.
You have to get the good lighting on them.
And like not in like any dark background. You have to get the background right and everything.
Yeah,
And then have it look at the camera.
Yeah, I don't think like I've ever gotten a photo where like they're both looking at the camera. It's impossible.
There's some great photos taken of the cats, but there's also some like really horrible, some like really like scuffed, like shaky ones. But I guess
Yeah,
it's really hard to take a picture of a cat.
yeah.
I,
Well, I always find like whenever I bring the camera down to like their eye level, they just walk towards it and try and like headbutt it. So
maybe that's a good photo in itself. Maybe
yeah, if you can time it.
true. You haven't been to any outside of UK events, have you?
No.
Do you ever want to?
Not particularly. Um, I mean, I'm not a big fan of traveling just in general. Um, and yeah, just like making like an entire, I guess, trip out of going to an event just seems like a pain. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it's not like, I mean, like after Air 5, like I didn't go to like a big national until Fate 3. Um, just because it didn't really like vibe with me that well, I guess. Um,
Hmm.
but then like everyone was going to Fate 3, so I thought, yeah, suppose I better go.
Yeah, and you're going Fate 4 when we reclaim Pontins too. Dragging you along for that one.
Yeah, I mean, like if there's another like UK international tournament, I'll go to that. But
Yeah, hopefully one eventually.
yeah,
Uh, Hopefully not in the middle of nowhere and somewhere that's actually reasonable to get to.
I
But
mean, Pontins was reasonable to get to if you have a car.
look,
It's just
not all of us can drive.
and like wow, especially like because we're like south as well, so it didn't take that long. It's about 3 hours. Like imagine driving there from like Manchester or something would take all day. Probably wouldn't want to do that.
I managed to drive from Scotland.
Yeah,
Or York drove down as like a group.
yeah, it's mad.
I know apparently one of them like they lost one of their drivers basically for a while because they got like they got a ticket or something um or pulled over on the way back from Fate 3.
Oh,
So they couldn't drive for like 6 months.
and like I saw like a few like European number plates as well at Fate 3. But
I, there was a
I mean
Dutch car, I think, right?
huh?
There might have been a Dutch car, I think. Like all the Dutchies, I think, drove up together,
Yeah, but
and the French.
like Canberra Sands is pretty close to the tunnel, I think. So like they probably would have gotten there faster than like a lot of UK people.
I think that was actually like one of the jokes at the time. It's actually faster to get there from France than it is like most places in the UK
Yeah,
because of the tunnel and just getting like a ferry over.
yeah.
If you could go back to 1 year in your melee career, which year would you go back to and why?
Uh, do I have like my current like skill level?
Uh, hmm. Uh, yes.
Well, I go back to the beginning.
No,
Back to
no,
2015, show up to my first tournament and like beat a load of people and like, who's this guy?
we'll take that back. It's just with your the skill level you had at the time.
Um, then yeah, it's probably like around like the same like early days and just try and like talk to more people, get kind of like integrated into the scene more. Because like even though I went to like usually at least a tournament a month, like I still felt kind of like outside of like the community.
Hmm.
Like there was a few people like I'd talk to, but like a lot of time I just kind of go there, not really talk to anybody, play my games. Uh, yeah, head home. Um,
I get that. It's kind of hard to like integrate yourself into scenes because a lot of them have like their like established friend groups, and especially like it's it's hard enough to like start like getting to know people in the scene as it is, I think, because it's kind of just like intimidating like to go to your first thing or your first few things and then trying to like interact with those people that you've never met and know like each other and you're the only one who kind of doesn't know anyone. But I feel some scenes definitely better than others, but at least now I feel like you're a lot more part of the scene.
Yeah, I think like especially like because back then like the Bristol scene especially was kind of very kind of tight knit with like all the people who went to the weeklies, which I didn't go to. So like I didn't really feel like a part of the Bristol scene. And then like obviously I wasn't going to be part of any other kind of community.
Are these the like six-person Bristol locals of Frenzy, Setchi, Ike, and Luke Pie? Oh no, Luke, I don't know, like Dex or something.
um, yeah, this is like pre like Setchi being in Bristol. So it'd been like frenzied like Soy, Aiken, uh, like Omadon, Candy, um, yeah, that kind of group. Um, Gymshark, I guess.
I
Um,
I can't imagine Gymshark anywhere besides Liverpool. As-
yeah, he used to be Bristol.
Is there like anyone in the scene that you're like kind of you've got your eye on a little bit that you think is gonna get really good sometime soon?
Ooh.
Or with not maybe soon, but in like the near future-ish.
Uh, it depends what we mean by like really good. Um,
At least like to the point of like sort of like getting in the circle of like you, Marzi, and Ellie.
oh right, okay. I'm not entirely sure. I feel like I don't know. Most kind of people's levels have kind of stayed somewhat consistent. Um, like everyone's just kind of improving at the same rate. Um, I do remember thinking that Oni was going to get really good,
Hmm.
um, and then he kind of disappeared.
Yeah, he's in the army now
Yeah.
in Warsaw, and he does not fancy going to an all chic local.
Yeah, and I think Gorillionaire as well. Um, he's getting good quite quickly. Like last time we played, we went to like game three last stock.
Ooh. I have heard a lot of like close stuff with that Tom's been going close to quite a few people. I know he beat Gogong at Crescendo, I think, as well. So, but that is a fucked up matchup. So,
I
but
probably thought I wouldn't even be able to begin to speculate that matchup.
but yeah, I've heard it's been getting good. And also, I don't know if you played them because they literally kind of only I think they were in Arcadia, but they mostly only go like Cardiff locals. Is Ellis or as their tag is now on Star.gg, Sergeant Devil Dog Mike,
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
Fargo player.
Yeah, I've played against Ellis a fair amount. I think like he's got some like really solid stuff. And like he's he hits his execution most of the time. I think it's just a matter of like just playing more, I guess. So that your neutral gets better and yeah, just like finding the kill. I find like yeah, for a lot of kind of lowish level like Falcos, like getting a kill is quite difficult. Um, so yeah, like if you can like keep improving, I then yeah, I think you could kind of kind of break through, I guess.
Hmm. To be fair, we don't really need another Falco. I was
Yeah.
submitting the PR to Start.gg because you can do a thing for it. And I was just looking, it's just Falco, Falco, Falco. It's you, Frenzy, Marzi, Mumbles, Matt Smith, fucking who else? Um no, Joe's just basically, but that's like over a third of the PR are Falcos.
Yeah, I mean, can you blame people? It's Falco.
True, it is the coolest character in the game,
Yeah.
I will say. I will ask this to you, even though I probably know the answer. Do you have a Falco inspiration?
Um, well, I mean, it's Frenzy and Mango.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
who else is it gonna be?
I think pretty much every Falco player you ask will say that Mango is the inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, back when I started, like there was like PPMD and West Bulls as well.
Oh,
I
true,
really like
yeah.
watching, and
PP was
like
very fun.
yeah, I seem to remember Mango playing like more Fox back then as well. Um, and like his Falco didn't really have like the pizzazz that it kind of got a few years later.
Yeah, I can see it. I
Like,
think his Fox had a lot of it back then, and he played Fox for a lot more matchups. Like he played for Sheik, Peach, Puff, and then he was sometimes play for other stuff. Whereas now, like he'll play Falco, Sheik more. Sometimes like Peach, Falco.
yeah, like he tends to play Falco for like every matchup pretty much, like outside of top eight, except like Puff. Although he might be changing. I don't know. I remember him saying recently like he's gonna start bringing out the Fox more, but I don't know.
He goes back and forth with it a lot. What is your favorite matchup?
Ooh. Um, Probably a Ditto. Um, just because I play it a lot, and like every other matchup, like when I lose, I'm just like, oh man, fuck that character or whatever. It's like if you lose in the Ditto, you're like, oh, I had the exact same tools as the other person. They just were better than me. That's it. Um, it can get a bit annoying when this just turns into like laser wars, but
Mm,
I think once you kind of figure out how to deal with like a really laser heavy like Falco, um, it can be fun. And then obviously, Falco punishing species is always fun.
oh yeah, way more fun than Falco punishing floaties. Although that is also fun, but you just get so
Can be.
much more. Do you think having Ellie and Barzy like come up has like pushed you a lot to get better?
Yeah, definitely. Um, like yeah, like when you asked earlier about like my inspirations, I guess, and I said like Frenzy,
Mm,
but yeah, I also think like especially like Marzi, like I don't think I'd be as good as I am now if it weren't for her. Um, like yeah, we just like play a lot, um, and like seeing her like improve kind of makes me want to kind of look at the game kind of in a more analytical way as well to kind of keep up. Um, and yeah, obviously like Pedlar as well. Just, I'm a constant battle with Pedlar. That set count was even for ages. I think it's like slightly in her favor now because she's won like the last like
so
couple.
I'll
But
have a look. Oh yeah, it's 10-12 at the moment. Uh,
yeah, so I need to win the next couple. But
yeah, you
let's
got
see.
some stuff to go. There's always basement. She'll be at some dojos. You can even it up.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I'm going through my I don't care arc. Where it's like, I don't care about records. I don't care if she's above me on the next, local PR or whatever.
Mm.
If she makes like national PR before me, I'll be, genuinely happy for her. So,
Yeah, she's putting a lot of work. I, I I haven't looked too much at the stats, but I wouldn't be too surprised if you're on it. I don't know
I
that
mean,
much, but that's just because like I know you've got on like an Ivy win, you've beaten Ellie of course a few times, um
yeah, got a Mordo win.
Archie as well, and I feel like besides Yusuf, you haven't really got like any bad losses really.
Uh, I've
Like
I've lost to quite a few people. I'm not sure um when the season started, but like I've lost to Noto, I lost to Tom question mark, lost to Butt Nose,
Not
Um,
butt nose. Not butt nose.
it's, so yeah, I do have like a few kind of, I wouldn't call them bad losses, but like upsets upon me. Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, just like I look at the list of the people who are on the PR, and like there's like quite a few people on there who I've gone like to like last game, last stock with, and just haven't managed to pull out the win.
Hmm.
And like if all of those had gone like the other way, I'd say yeah, I'm kind of in a good position. But again, I don't really care about PR at the moment, so I'm not going to bother thinking about it.
When was the modern one? It was recently, right?
Crescendo 2, yeah.
Oh, Crescendo too.
Yeah, that was the same tournament. I lost game 5 last up to Squee, where if I'd won that, I would have been in top 8. Um,
Really?
and that would have been like my big breakout tournament, yeah,
Damn.
yeah, when I lost to Squee at that tournament, I got ninth. Um, so that would have been, 2 PR wins and a top 8 at, a big tournament,
Yeah.
which would have been really good. Because I remember after I beat Mordo, I was like, all right, I got my PR win. I don't care what happens this tournament. And then I lose like a really close set to Squee to make top 8, and I was like, okay, I do care. I'm annoyed now.
Was that your next set?
Um, I think I think I had to play Shayla before that because I think I beat Mordo in winners. Um, then can't remember who I lost to after I beat Mordo in winners. I think Luke, and then I think I had to play Shayla, and then Squee.
It's good. It's a good sign. As much as you're kind of struggling with having like the motivation for stuff and like feeling sort of down towards the game, that you still like felt that Crescendo too. Like I'm still like
Yeah,
annoyed. I need to beat this motherfucker.
yeah,
I need to convince him to come down more to. Apparently they're traveling a lot more now, so I'm gonna start stealing them down here, and rigging brackets so you get to play them. Because one of our
uh,
Falcos has to do it.
yeah. Like like half my sets against Squee, I just get like absolutely destroyed, and the other half is always like last game, last stock, and I choke it.
He hasn't been around for a while, but I know you and Carl used to kind of like he used to win mostly against you, but I feel like there was a little bit of rivalry there. Uh,
Yeah. So when I first started coming to stuff like post COVID, like the Welsh locals, like he won the first set, and then the next week I beat him, and people were like, "Oh, there's gonna be a big rivalry here between these two," and then like he just won like the next like 7 or something. Like I'd take games, but yeah, I'd never like managed to close them out. Um, and then at one of the basements, I don't remember which one, sometime last year, um, I lost to Zyko Jack in pools, and he lost to Lum. So we were both in Amis. Um, and then Amis round 1, I lost to Ghoul. And I was like, this tournament is not going well. And then, yeah, I fought my way to Grands, which Coral was in. And then I won Grands over him, so I double limbed him. Um, and I hadn't beaten him in ages. Um, so yeah, that felt good. And then yeah, he kind of disappeared. But
I remember watching that set in the crowd, I think at Basements, and I was like, oh, holy shit. I didn't realize you went all the way from round one losers all the
yeah,
way to Grand Summit.
yeah, I won 8 sets in a row, I think, to win that Ami bracket. Um, I think if there was anyone like else in Grands, it wouldn't have felt as good. Like if I had to, beat someone who I like always beat.
Hmm.
But yeah, because it was Coral, like, and like I felt like I played like really well in both those sets. Um,
Which
so yeah, that made up for not making pro.
which did you do better into, the Fox or the Falco?
I think he only went Falco one game, and I think I kind of messed it up. So,
I mean, like in
um,
general against him.
in general, probably the Falco. I mean, I always think of him as like a Fox player, and I thought it was Fox more than I thought it was Falco.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think most of the time when he did go Falco, like he still won it, which was annoying. But
His Falco is
yeah.
annoyingly good. I don't understand why either.
Well, I always thought like it plays like a Fox player would play Falco, but at the same time like not feeling like a secondary.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I think he was Fox, a Falco player first, then switched to Fox, then went back and
yeah,
forth.
but
He could have started off as a Fox player. We've seen
yeah,
him at one event, like a few like well, it's quite a few months ago now. He came into one local and then he went to a dojo,
yeah,
and
I remember seeing him at the dojo.
yeah, he's going to Lapis as well
Oh
in
yeah,
London. I assume to because it's Silas's event, but from the sounds of it, because I remember seeing something. I can't remember what it was, but I think Coral might be like trying to make a little bit of a return-ish, because apparently I think he was just kind of burnt out a lot of the time.
yeah,
I hope he
that'd
comes
be good to
back
see.
because
Yeah,
he's a lovely person. And he's also just great to like watch and play. I think
yeah, for sure.
he's also like he takes advice very well, which is like kind of scary because because that means he improves like really fast when he's like on it. Like when he started when he started off as Fox basically after we play sets he would ask me for advice and stuff, and like basically the next set he would always like implement that next thing, and I was like, oh shit. This is, and it was to the point where I was like telling him like stuff, and the next day he would do it, and I'm like, this is really fucking annoying that he's doing this, because because it's the exact annoying shit I told him to do.
I shouldn't have told
But
him. Shouldn't have told
Frenzy feels like that a lot. I feel like
him.
I know he's complained a few times of everyone who I teach just comes to beat me.
Yeah,
It'll be interesting to see. I want to see how he fits into the whole like dynamic of you, Marziali, because
yeah, the new and improved tier.
true.
Like we've all been like grinding for like the past year, so it'll be interesting to kind of see where he's at.
That's the thing though. He doesn't need to grind, which is really weird.
Yeah,
Like the I played him like the last time I played him at like a local with my math, like he was hard then, and then when I played him on like online like 8 months after he'd not been playing, he still felt just as hard after I got him better, and I didn't understand why he was still so hard because he
some
hadn't
people
been
are just
playing
like
the
that.
game. He just has it down. I mean, he is an FGC player,
Yeah.
so he kind of has the fundies and the adaptations. But I wonder how he'll do because I know he kind of I don't know if Marzi ever beat him actually because I know Marzi struggled
Yeah,
with
I'm
him
not
a
sure.
lot. I think she got maybe a few sets, but I think he dominated the majority of them. And then I don't think him and Ellie have ever played.
No, I think like he kind of stopped coming to stuff like when Ellie started kind of like coming to more Cardiff stuff.
Yeah.
The kind of crossover point wasn't really there.
Hmm. And I, my guess at least would I assume he probably wouldn't go do well into Ellie. Um.
I mean, she's kind of like a spacey destroyer if you don't specifically know how to like play against like her style of Falcon.
True, and Carl wouldn't even have the benefit, I don't think, of like grinding a ton against Sechi when Sechi was on the way up. I don't think.
Uh,
I don't think they were kind of there at the same time, or at least
yeah,
played like a ton. So, but it'd be interesting to see how he does against you and Marzi, especially, and also Matt, because he towards the end of when he was actively like there, he was like he was beating Matt
yeah,
like a bit, or like he was kind of favored-ish, like. He would beat the Falco and lose to the Fox. Like he lost really hard against the Fox, but he was like doing very well into the Falco.
yeah.
But
And, like Matt's like another player who's like, he's got the FGC kind of fundamentals where you can just like not play and still like maintain his level.
yeah, I think him especially more so because like his entire neutral just feels like way. it feels doesn't feel like any other player. Like the way he like mixes up his like aerials and like his approaches. Like he
Yeah,
you can like kind of see like the set plays a lot more of like the like empty hop in, laser
yeah,
shine onto you.
he's very like a movement heavy Falco, um, which a lot of people kind of get flabbergasted by when they have to play it.
Yeah, it just it makes his style very hard to maintain because when he's like rusty and has a better controller, he like messes up like a lot of stuff. But when he's like odd and got a controller like it New Wave 5, it's beautiful to watch. That's watching that run live was so good because no other Falcon kind of like moves like him.
Yeah, it was wow. Yeah, like I mean, I was there and everyone's like cheering for like all the London people. And I'm like, let's go, Matt.
Wales. Oh, so happy to see him win because no one like at least what I saw around, no one was kind of like saying Matt would win. It was all like Joe Fish and probably UO,
Yeah.
and I was like, it's clearly Matt Smith. It's clearly Matt Smith. Oh, at least if you don't make this round of PR, you can go to another Arcadian, and they're always good to go to. But who
Yeah,
knows?
well, I mean, after the last one, like, I don't know.
You have a
I'm
redemption
like, do I
arc.
want to go through that again?
You gotta redeem it eventually.
Uh,
Maybe. Anyway, I think that's kind of all the questions I have right
cool,
now.
cool, cool.
So, thank you for joining me,
Thanks you for having me.
and we will have another installment of maybe not, probably not another Southwest. We might go Wales next time because I kind of want to go like back and forth in it because we had Matt Smith, then Shayla, then you. I feel like we have to kind of bounce between the scenes. So it has to be like a
Yeah,
Wales person then, and then we have to go like back to Bournemouth or something, and then bounce around a little bit maybe. But yeah. Anyway, bye.